In town stood an abandoned carnival, once vibrant with laughter and lights. Legend whispers of its sudden closure after a series of bizarre accidents. Children vanished, laughter turned to screams, and the once joyful clowns became shadowy figures lurking in the dark. Locals claimed to hear eerie music echoing at midnight, drawing them closer. A group of thrill-seekers ventured in, their flashlights flickering against peeling paint and rusted rides. As they explored, a chilling fog enveloped them. One by one, they felt an unseen pull, as if the carnival itself was alive, reclaiming its lost souls. To this day, the carnival stands silent, holding dark secrets within its shadows, waiting for the next visitor.
What if I told you about a dark omen known as the Mothman? Originating in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, this winged creature with glowing red eyes first appeared in 1966, sending shockwaves through the community. Witnesses described it as a large humanoid figure, soaring silently before tragic events. The most notable sighting occurred just before the Silver Bridge collapse in 1967, claiming 46 lives. Some believe the Mothman is a harbinger of doom, linking its appearances to disasters across the globe. Variations of the tale spread, intertwining local folklore with real-life tragedies. Follow this unsettling mystery and subscribe for more eerie stories. What if I told you about a creature that lurks beneath the farmlands of North India? Known as the Bhumi Nag, it looks like a snake, but has legs and lives deep within the earth. This mysterious being surfaces only to attack, and its bite sets a deadly rule. The first to drink water survives, while the other perishes. But the Bhumi Nag is a cunning trickster. While the victim races to find water, the creature cheats. Instead of reaching an underground water source, it drinks its own urine, ensuring its survival, while the human succumbs to the venom. Legends say this creature appears when the balance of nature is disturbed, a dark omen tied to overexploited resources. Farmers claim to hear faint tremors and hisses before an attack, their fear passed down through generations. Could it be myth? Or does the Bhumi Nag still slither beneath the soil, waiting for its next victim? Subscribe for more spine-tingling tales. What if I told you that the ancient Aztecs believed in terrifying star demons, known as the Tzitzimitl? These malevolent beings, often depicted as skeletal figures adorned with stars, were said to descend from the heavens during important celestial events. Their origins trace back to the belief that they were once gods who had fallen from grace, now haunting the earth to feast on human souls. The Tzitzimitl were particularly feared during solar eclipses, which were seen as moments when the sun was threatened by darkness. Historical accounts suggest that rituals were performed to appease these demons, highlighting the anxiety they instilled. Explore this chilling legend and beware of the darkness above. Subscribe for more spine-tingling tales.
Jake moved into the old house to escape the chaos of the city. It was quiet, isolated, perfect for some peace. But the first night, something felt off. Lying in bed, he noticed how the house seemed to amplify sound. The creaks of the floorboards, the rustling of the trees, outside. And then, something else. A whisper. At first, Jake thought it was his imagination. The words were faint, almost inaudible, like they were being spoken just beyond the walls. He froze, listening intently. The whispering grew clearer. He's here. He's here. Watching. Jake shot up, turning on every light in the room. The whispering stopped. He laughed nervously, brushing it off as an overactive mind and exhaustion. The next night it came again. This time louder. The whispers seemed to come from the corner of his bedroom. He couldn't make out all the words, but one phrase chilled him. Don't turn around. Jake's body stiffened. The air in the room grew cold, his breath visible in the dim light. Slowly, against every instinct screaming at him, he turned his head toward the corner. There was nothing there. Relieved, Jake exhaled and laughed shakily. But then, he felt it. Warm breath on the back of his neck, and a whisper close to his ear. You shouldn't have looked.
La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, is a haunting figure in Latin American folklore, particularly in Mexico. Her tale begins with a beautiful woman named Maria, who fell in love with a wealthy man. After giving birth to 2 children, he abandoned her, leading to her madness. In a fit of rage and despair, she drowned her children in a river, only to realize her tragic mistake moments later. Consumed by grief, she took her own life. Legends say her spirit roams rivers and lakes, weeping for her lost children, luring the unsuspecting to their doom. Variations of the story exist, often warning children to avoid the water at night, fearing the sorrowful wails of La Llorona, a reminder of lost love and regret. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. The chupacabra, a fearsome creature, first emerged in Puerto Rico in the 1990s, where it was blamed for the mysterious deaths of livestock, particularly goats. Eyewitness accounts describe it as a reptilian beast with sharp fangs and glowing eyes. Various reports from Mexico and the United States highlight its ability to drain the blood of animals, leaving behind lifeless bodies. Over the years, many interpretations of the legend have surfaced, from a government experiment gone wrong to an alien creature. Sightings and eerie noises in the night keep the legend alive, making the chupacabra a symbol of fear and fascination in Latin American folklore. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
Emma loved exploring her new home, especially the attic. One night, while her parents slept, she heard soft whispers from above. Intrigued, she grabbed her flashlight and climbed the creaky stairs. The air was thick and cold, sending shivers down her spine. As she reached the top, the whispers grew louder, a cacophony of hushed voices calling her name. "Emma, come play." The beam of her flashlight flickered, revealing a dusty old mirror, its surface smeared and cracked. Suddenly, the whispering stopped. Emma leaned closer, entranced. In the reflection, shadows loomed behind her, grinning. She turned, but nothing was there. The next morning, her parents found only the mirror, and Emma was gone, forever trapped in the whispers.
Everyone in town knew the legend of Whispering Woods, a forest where people vanished, leaving behind only whispers carried on the wind. Some said the whispers were warnings. Others claimed they were the voices of the lost. One night, my friends and I decided to see for ourselves. Armed with flashlights, we entered the woods, laughing nervously. The trees were impossibly tall, their twisted branches blotting out the moonlight. Soon, the laughter stopped. The deeper we went, the quieter it became. No birds, no rustling leaves, just silence. And then we heard it. Faint whispers, circling us like invisible hands. "They're close," one whisper said. "Turn back," said another, barely audible. But we didn't listen. We pushed forward, our flashlights flickering. That's when we noticed the shadows. They weren't ours. They moved on their own, darting between the trees, watching. Suddenly, my friend Jake screamed and vanished into the darkness. We called for him, but only the whispers answered. "Stay," they begged. "Join us." Terrified, we ran, but the forest twisted, leading us in circles. The whispers grew louder, overlapping until they became a deafening roar. When we finally escaped, the woods were silent again. Jake was never found, but sometimes, late at night, I still hear his voice in the wind, faint and pleading, "Don't come back."
Emma loved exploring her new home, especially the attic. One night, while her parents slept, she heard soft whispers from above. Intrigued, she grabbed her flashlight and climbed the creaky stairs. The air was thick and cold, sending shivers down her spine. As she reached the top, the whispers grew louder, a cacophony of hushed voices calling her name. "Emma, come play." The beam of her flashlight flickered, revealing a dusty old mirror, its surface smeared and cracked. Suddenly, the whispering stopped. Emma leaned closer, entranced. In the reflection, shadows loomed behind her, grinning. She turned, but nothing was there. The next morning, her parents found only the mirror, and Emma was gone, forever trapped in the whisper. The Wendigo is a legendary creature from Algonquin folklore, symbolizing the dangers of greed and cannibalism. Originating from the cold forests of Canada, it is depicted as a gaunt, emaciated figure with an insatiable hunger for human flesh. The legend tells of individuals who, in times of famine, resorted to cannibalism, ultimately transforming into a Wendigo. Over the years, various accounts have emerged, painting the Wendigo as a cautionary tale against selfishness and moral decay. Real-life occurrences of mysterious disappearances in the wilderness have fueled the legend's chilling aura, leaving an indelible mark on both indigenous culture and modern horror narratives. Emma loved exploring her new home, especially the attic. One night, while her parents slept, she heard soft whispers from above. Intrigued, she grabbed her flashlight and climbed the creaky stairs. The air was thick and cold, sending shivers down her spine. As she reached the top, the whispers grew louder, a cacophony of hushed voices calling her name. "Emma, come play." The beam of her flashlight flickered, revealing a dusty old mirror, its surface smeared and cracked. Suddenly, the whispering stopped. Emma leaned closer, entranced. In the reflection, shadows loomed behind her, grinning. She turned, but nothing was there. The next morning, her parents found only the mirror, and Emma was gone, forever trapped in the whispers. In the heart of the Whispering Woods, locals speak of strange occurrences. It began with the disappearance of a hiker, a young woman named Clara, who ventured into the forest seeking solitude. Days later, her belongings were found scattered beneath an ancient oak, the air thick with an unsettling silence. Those who approached the tree reported hearing whispers, as if the woods themselves were alive, sharing secrets. Inspired by real events from 1960s rural folklore, the whispers grew louder, drawing unsuspecting visitors. Some claimed to see shadows flitting between trees, while others felt unseen hands brush against them, urging them deeper into the darkness. The Whispering Woods became a place of dread, where curiosity turned to terror.
They told us never to go to the third floor of the old hospital. It had been condemned for years, left untouched since the fire that shut the place down. Rumor had it that the fire wasn't an accident. Nurses spoke of a patient who went missing that night. Someone they weren't supposed to have admitted. Someone who didn't belong. But we didn't care about warnings. My friends, Julie, Mark, and I decided to explore the place on Halloween night. Armed with flashlights and a cheap camcorder, we broke in through a shattered basement window. The air was heavy, filled with the faint scent of mildew and ash. Graffiti covered the walls, but the further we ventured, the less it felt like people had been here. The silence grew oppressive, like the building itself was holding its breath. When we reached the stairs to the third floor, the air shifted. It was colder here, and even Mark, who always joked about ghosts, hesitated. Still, curiosity got the better of us. The third floor was a ruin. Ceiling tiles hung by threads, and the floor was littered with broken glass and debris. But something felt wrong. Our flashlights flickered, and the shadows seemed to stretch unnaturally long. Then Julie gasped. "Do you see that?" she whispered, pointing ahead. At the end of the hallway stood a figure, a man, tall and thin, his face obscured by the dark. He didn't move. Mark laughed nervously, but it sounded forced. "It's just a shadow," he muttered. Then the figure stepped forward. His face was pale, his features distorted, like a photo stretched and blurred. His eyes were dark hollows and his mouth hung open, frozen in a silent scream. We bolted, but as we turned, the hallway seemed to twist. The stairs weren't where they had been, and every door we tried was locked. The sound of dragging footsteps echoed behind us, growing louder, closer. Julie screamed, and I turned to see her flashlight on the ground, flickering. She was gone. Mark grabbed my arm, and we ran until we finally found the stairs. We didn't stop running until we were out of the building and back in the car. The next day, we called the police, but they found nothing. No Julie. No signs of anyone ever being on the third floor. I don't know what happened that night, but I haven't been able to sleep since. Sometimes when I'm alone, I hear those footsteps again. Slow, deliberate, dragging closer. And in the corner of my eye, I see him, waiting.
In the heart of the Whispering Woods, locals speak of strange occurrences. It began with the disappearance of a hiker, a young woman named Clara, who ventured into the forest seeking solitude. Days later, her belongings were found scattered beneath an ancient oak, the air thick with an unsettling silence. Those who approached the tree reported hearing whispers, as if the woods themselves were alive, sharing secrets. Inspired by real events from 1960s rural folklore, the whispers grew louder, drawing unsuspecting visitors. Some claimed to see shadows flitting between trees, while others felt unseen hands brush against them, urging them deeper into the darkness. The Whispering Woods became a place of dread, where curiosity turned to terror. In a dusty attic, a forgotten dollhouse stands eerily still. Each room reflects the lives of the family that once inhabited it, yet whispers of tragedy linger in the air. The dollhouse belonged to the Thompson family, whose tragic fate remains shrouded in mystery. Neighbors spoke of strange noises and shadows flickering at night. One evening, a fire consumed their home, leaving only this dollhouse intact. Local legends say it's a vessel for their restless spirits. Visitors claim to hear faint cries from its tiny rooms and feel a chill when peering through its windows. The dolls, eerily lifelike, seem to watch every move. What secrets do they conceal, waiting for someone brave enough to uncover the truth? Waverly Hills Sanatorium, once a refuge for tuberculosis patients, now looms abandoned, cloaked in mystery. Built in 1910, it became notorious for its gruesome treatments and high mortality rates. Many patients reportedly roamed the halls, desperate for relief. Folklore speaks of Room 502, where a nurse allegedly took her own life, her spirit forever trapped, luring curious souls. Visitors recount chilling encounters, whispers, shadows darting in the corners, and the sense of being watched. The infamous body chute served as a dark passageway, further deepening the macabre aura. Today, Waverly Hills stands as a chilling reminder of suffering, beckoning ghost hunters and thrill seekers alike into its haunted embrace. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. In the 1980s, a series of devastating house fires in the UK sparked a chilling legend, the Crying Boy painting. This artwork, depicting a sorrowful boy, was said to bring misfortune to its owners. As flames consumed homes, investigators noticed a disturbing pattern. Most of the victims owned a copy of this painting. Tales emerged of the painting's origins. It was created by the artist Giovanni Bragolin, who legend claims was inspired by a tragic story of a boy orphaned by a fire. As the fires spread, unsettling stories of the painting's curse grew, leading to public outcry. People began to destroy or rid themselves of the paintings, hoping to escape the chilling grip of this haunted artwork. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. In 1922, the Hinterkaifeck murders stunned Germany. The Gruber family, consisting of Andreas, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, son Josef, and the maid Maria, were brutally killed in their isolated farmhouse. Days before the murders, Andreas discovered strange footprints in the snow leading to the house but found no signs of anyone. The family reported eerie sounds and a mysterious stranger lurking nearby. On the night of the murders, the farm remained eerily quiet, but the horrific aftermath revealed gruesome details. The perpetrator was never found, and theories erupted, ranging from family disputes to a vengeful spirit. The case remains one of Germany's most perplexing and chilling mysteries. Poveglia Island, a small landmass in the Venetian lagoon, holds a sinister reputation. From the 14th century, it served as a quarantine station for plague victims, with many meeting a gruesome end. The island transformed into a mental asylum in the late 19th century, where cruel experiments were conducted. Patients often reported sightings of dark figures and heard eerie voices. After its closure in the 1960s, the island became abandoned, shrouded in legends of restless spirits. Locals claim that the soil is infused with the ashes of the dead. Today, Poveglia stands as a chilling reminder of human suffering, attracting thrill seekers and ghost hunters alike who seek to uncover its dark past. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
Welcome to a journey through the world's most haunted places. We're talking about the spots where history and the unexplained collide, leaving behind restless spirits and spine-chilling tales. So, buckle up, grab your EMF reader, or don't, I'm not your boss, and prepare yourself for some eerie encounters. We're going deep into the heart of haunted hotspots, from abandoned asylums to ancient castles. Are these stories true? Are these places truly haunted? I don't know. That's the fun of it, isn't it? Let's find out. But beware. What you discover might just keep you up at night. Stay tuned if you dare. And don't forget to share the stories you'd like us to explore next, but this is just the beginning. As we move forward, the shadows grow darker and the stories more chilling. Our first stop is Bangor Fort in India, a place so steeped in spooky lore, the Indian government actually forbids anyone from entering after sunset. They say it's cursed. Locals will tell you of a heartbroken sorcerer who cursed the fort after being rejected by a princess. The stories tell of unexplained shadows lurking within the fort's walls, disembodied voices echoing in the dead of night, and a palpable feeling of dread that hangs heavy in the air. Legend has it that anyone who dares to stay within the fort's walls after dark will meet an untimely and unfortunate end. I mean, call me crazy, but I'd rather not tempt fate. So, while the sun's still up, let's take a cautious peek inside Bangor Fort, shall we? Just, maybe don't wander off alone. Next, we visit the Stanley Hotel in the USA, a grand old building nestled high in the Colorado Rockies. You might recognize it as the chilling inspiration behind Stephen King's iconic novel and film, The Shining. King himself stayed in room 217, which is said to be one of the most haunted rooms in the hotel. Guests have reported all sorts of strange occurrences at the Stanley Hotel pianos playing themselves, ghostly children giggling in the hallways, and the unsettling feeling of being watched. So if you're brave enough to book a night at the Stanley, be prepared for a stay you won't soon forget. Just, maybe steer clear of room 217. Château de Brissac, the Green Lady's domain. In France, we explore Château de Brissac, a stunning Renaissance castle that's as beautiful as it is unsettling. See, this castle is home to a resident ghost known as the Green Lady. Legend has it that she was the illegitimate daughter of a 15th century lord and met a rather unfortunate end at the hands of her own husband. Now, the Green Lady is said to roam the halls of the castle, her mournful cries echoing through the corridors. Some say she appears as a spectral figure in a green dress, her face forever frozen in a scream. But hey, who knows, maybe she's just misunderstood. The Tower of London, where history haunts. The Tower of London, a place synonymous with intrigue, treachery, and execution, is our next haunted destination. With a history as dark and bloody as this, it's no surprise that the tower is said to be teeming with restless spirits. Anne Boleyn, the ill-fated wife of King Henry VIII, is said to haunt the tower, her headless form seen wandering the grounds on the anniversary of her execution. Then there are the two young princes, rumored to have been murdered within the tower walls on the orders of their own uncle, King Richard III. Their ghostly laughter is said to echo through the halls, a chilling reminder of their untimely fate. The Tower of London is a place where history and horror collide, leaving behind an atmosphere that's both captivating and chilling. Poveglia Island, Quarantine of Screams. Finally, we arrive at Poveglia Island, a small island located in the Venetian lagoon. It's so intensely eerie, so undeniably creepy, that it's been dubbed the Island of Ghosts. Poveglia has a long and tragic history. It served as a quarantine zone for plague victims in the 18th century, a dumping ground for the sick and dying. Later, in the 20th century, the island housed a mental asylum. Rumors spread of cruel experiments being conducted on patients, their tormented souls adding to the island's already heavy atmosphere. Today, Poveglia Island is strictly off-limits to visitors. Some say it's because the Italian government is trying to cover up the horrors that occurred there. Sleep tight or don't. Thank you for joining us on this eerie adventure through some of the world's most haunted places. We've explored ancient ruins, grand hotels, and forgotten islands, each with its own chilling tales to tell. If you're feeling brave, maybe you'll even consider visiting one of these locations yourself. But be warned, you might just encounter more than you bargained for. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for more spine-tingling stories from the world's most haunted corners.
La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, is a haunting figure in Latin American folklore. Originating in Mexico, her story varies across regions, but the essence remains the same: a sorrowful woman who lost her children. According to legend, she drowned them in a fit of rage and, overcome by grief, now wanders rivers and lakes, crying for them. This tale serves as a cautionary warning to children about the dangers of straying too close to water. Some accounts suggest that La Llorona was once a beautiful woman named Maria who fell in love with a wealthy man. When he abandoned her, she sought revenge, leading to her tragic fate. Her mournful wails echo through the night, chilling anyone who dares to listen. Poveglia Island, a small landmass in the Venetian lagoon, holds a sinister reputation. From the 14th century, it served as a quarantine station for plague victims, with many meeting a gruesome end. The island transformed into a mental asylum in the late 19th century, where cruel experiments were conducted. Patients often reported sightings of dark figures and heard eerie voices. After its closure in the 1960s, the island became abandoned, shrouded in legends of restless spirits. Locals claim that the soil is infused with the ashes of the dead. Today, Poveglia stands as a chilling reminder of human suffering, attracting thrill seekers and ghost hunters alike who seek to uncover its dark past. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. In 1922, the Hinterkaifeck murders stunned Germany. The Gruber family, consisting of Andreas, his wife Cecilia, their daughter Victoria, son Josef, and the maid Maria, were brutally killed in their isolated farmhouse. Days before the murders, Andreas discovered strange footprints in the snow leading to the house but found no signs of anyone. The family reported eerie sounds and a mysterious stranger lurking nearby. On the night of the murders, the farm remained eerily quiet, but the horrific aftermath revealed gruesome details. The perpetrator was never found, and theories erupted, ranging from family disputes to a vengeful spirit. The case remains one of Germany's most perplexing and chilling mysteries.
In Japan, whispers of Kuchisake Onna, the slit-mouthed woman, haunt the night. Originating in the Edo period, this vengeful spirit is said to wear a surgical mask, concealing a horrifying secret. Her mouth is slit from ear to ear. Legend claims she was a beautiful woman, betrayed by her husband, who mutilated her in a fit of rage. Now she roams city streets, asking victims if she's beautiful. If they answer truthfully, she reveals her disfigurement and asks, "How about now?" The terrified response often leads to a gruesome fate. This eerie tale has inspired countless stories and urban legends, blurring the line between reality and myth. Subscribe for more chilling tales.
In the depths of winter, Yuki Onna, the snow woman, emerges from the swirling snowstorms of Japan. This ethereal figure, draped in white, is said to lure weary travelers with her beauty and icy charm. Legends claim she was once a young woman who perished in a blizzard, transformed into a vengeful spirit. Her victims, entranced by her allure, are led to frozen graves, their breath visible in the frigid air. Variations of the tale exist, some depicting her as a benevolent spirit who saves children from the cold. However, the chilling essence remains. Encountering Yuki Onna often signifies doom. Dare to tread carefully in her snowy realm, and remember, the cold may not be the only danger lurking. Subscribe for more eerie tales. In Korea, the legend of Cheonyo Gaksi, or the ghostly bride, sends shivers through the spines of young men. It is said that she appears on rainy nights, dressed in a white wedding gown, her face obscured by a veil. Originating from a tale of a jilted bride who died tragically on her wedding day, she now haunts the living with her sorrowful wails. Victims describe her voice as enchanting, compelling them to follow her into the darkness. Some variations suggest she seeks revenge, while others portray her as a tragic figure yearning for love. Real encounters have been reported, where men vanish after seeing her. Beware the whispers of the night, for Cheonyo Gaksi's allure can be deadly. Subscribe for more chilling tales. In the dense forests of Rajasthan, India, the legend of Churel Ki Dulhan, or the Bride of the Churel, stirs fear among villagers. They say that on moonless nights, a ghostly woman appears along the winding village paths, dressed in an ornate red bridal lehenga. Her face is hidden by a thick veil, and she floats just above the ground, her anklets chiming in the silent night. According to the story, she was a bride abandoned on her wedding night. Betrayed and heartbroken, she wandered into the forest, never to return. Now, she haunts those same paths, seeking the companionship that was denied to her in life. Travelers and villagers tell of encountering her. Her voice is soft, almost musical, luring them into the forest. If someone follows, it's said they become enchanted, wandering deeper and deeper until they disappear, never to be seen again. Some say the Churail Ki Dulhan is merely a tragic figure, lonely and searching for solace. But others warn that she is vengeful, taking men into the forest to suffer the same fate she endured. True or not, villagers still avoid the forest paths on dark nights, wary of the bride's mournful call. Beware of the haunting allure of the Churail Ki Dulhan, for her sorrow could turn deadly. Subscribe for more chilling tales from India and beyond. In the quiet villages of Karnataka, India, the haunting legend of Na Ale Ba, or the night visitor, sends shivers through the community. According to the tale, a vengeful spirit roams the streets at night, knocking on doors and calling out in familiar voices, often sounding like a friend or family member. Her goal? To lure people out of their homes. But those who answer her call are never seen again. Locals believe Naleba is the restless spirit of a bride who suffered betrayal, cursed to wander the villages forever, searching for companionship or revenge. To protect themselves, villagers began writing Naleba on their doors, Canada for come tomorrow, hoping to confuse her, tricking her into leaving them alone for just one more night. The story of Naleba has become a powerful part of Karnataka's folklore, inspiring cautionary traditions and even influencing popular culture. While some dismiss it as a myth, many still heed the warning, locking their doors tightly and avoiding the whispers of the night. Beware the knocks after dark, for it might just be Naleba, the night visitor. Subscribe for more eerie legends and mysteries. In the small village of Lalapur, India, a legend whispers through the trees, the tale of the Chudale, a ghostly woman in white. Many believe she was once a devoted wife, wronged and betrayed, who perished under mysterious circumstances. Her spirit, consumed by rage, now roams the night, luring men with her beauty before revealing her true, horrifying form. Locals claim to hear her mournful wails echoing through the dark, often followed by eerie silence. Variations of the tale suggest she seeks revenge on unfaithful husbands. Some villagers recount chilling encounters, claiming she appears at dusk, her long hair billowing, eyes glowing with vengeance. Beware the Chudale. Her sorrow may cost you your soul. Subscribe for more haunting tales. In East Anglia, the legend of Black Shuck looms large. This ghostly hound, known for its massive size and glowing eyes, is said to roam the countryside, bringing terror to those who encounter it. Originating in the 12th century, tales of Shuck often describe it appearing near churches and graveyards, signaling doom. Variants of the legend claim that seeing the hound foretells death or disaster. Some believe it is a manifestation of lost souls, while others think it is a guardian of the dead. Eyewitness accounts describe a chilling presence, sometimes accompanied by a deep growl. Black Shuck remains a haunting symbol of fear and mystery in English folklore. Subscribe for more chilling tales. The Banshee, a spectral figure from Irish folklore, is known as a harbinger of death. Traditionally depicted as a woman in white or gray, her mournful wail signals the impending demise of a family member. The legend has origins that trace back to ancient Celtic beliefs, where she was seen as a fairy or goddess of death. Variations abound. Some say she appears as a beautiful maiden, others as a haggard old woman. Reports of real encounters have surfaced over centuries, often linked to tragic events. People claim to have heard her chilling cries, foretelling their loved one's passing. The Banshee remains a potent symbol of sorrow in Irish culture. Subscribe for more chilling tales.
High in the misty mountains of Japan, where the forests grow dense and the roads are seldom traveled, there stands an abandoned ryokan, the Kiyotaki Ryokan. Its walls are crumbling, its wooden beams rotting, yet no one dares approach. They say the air around it is heavy, thick with the sorrow of a spirit that has never known peace. This is the tale of Akiko, the betrayed bride, whose anguish turned love into wrath and memory into a curse. Long ago, Kiyotaki Ryokan was alive with laughter and celebration. Akiko, the innkeeper's daughter, was to marry a samurai, a man of honor and strength. Her heart swelled with dreams of a bright future. The villagers adored her, and the ryokan glowed with the warmth of their festivities on the eve of her wedding. But happiness, it seems, can stir envy in dark hearts. On that fateful night, a rival of the samurai, a man consumed by jealousy, crept into the inn. He sought to destroy the man he hated most, but his vengeance came in the form of fire. A roaring blaze engulfed the ryokan, its flames devouring wood, fabric, and life itself. Akiko's cries echoed through the inferno. Her fiancé never came. Whether he fled or fell, no one knows. All that remains is the memory of her screams and the haunting presence she left behind. Today, the Kiyotaki Ryokan stands silent, shrouded in whispers. Those who are foolish enough to enter speak of strange occurrences. Cold hands on their shoulders, soft weeping from the empty halls, and mirrors that show more than a reflection. They say that if you see her in the mirror, she will follow you. Her pale, expressionless face will appear closer each time until you feel her breath at the back of your neck. Then, and only then, will you hear her voice, soft as silk, but colder than death. Why didn't you save me? Once you hear her question, there is no escape. She will cling to you, draining your life, leaving only sorrow in her wake, just as she was left. And so the ryokan sits, waiting, not for restoration, nor for time to erase its horrors, but for its next visitor. Because Akiko has not forgotten, and she never forgives. And so, the Kiyotaki Ryokan sits, waiting, not for restoration, nor for time to erase its horrors, but for its next visitor. Because Akiko has not forgotten, and she never forgives. Do you believe in haunted places like this? Would you dare step into the Kiyotaki Ryokan, knowing what waits inside? Let us know in the comments. What's the scariest haunted story you've ever heard? If you enjoyed this tale of terror and want more chilling stories from around the world, don't forget to subscribe. Your support keeps these haunting tales alive. And remember to hit the bell icon so you don't miss our next journey into the shadows.
Aokigahara, known as Japan's suicide forest, lies at the foot of Mount Fuji, a place both serene and eerie. This dense woodland is steeped in legends of yurei, or restless spirits, believed to wander among the trees. The forest's haunting allure has led many to seek solace in its depths, but the silence conceals a darker truth. Originating in the 19th century, tales of despair intertwined with folklore, leading to its grim association. Some say the spirits of those lost to despair linger, whispering to wanderers, drawing them deeper. Real events, like the alarming number of suicides, only add to its chilling reputation. Dare to tread the path, but beware the darkness that pursues. Subscribe for more eerie tales. In the dense jungles of Southeast Asia, the legend of the Pontianak haunts the night. This vengeful spirit, believed to be the restless soul of a woman who died during childbirth, emerges under the moonlight, seeking revenge on unsuspecting men. Her disheveled hair covers a pale face, and her wails echo through the trees, signaling her presence. Stories tell of men disappearing after crossing her path, their screams swallowed by the darkness. Variations of the legend speak of her enticing victims with beauty before revealing her true form. Some say she can be appeased, but others urge caution. Beware the night, for the Pontianak is ever watchful. Subscribe for more chilling tales. In Korean folklore, the Gumiho is a nine-tailed fox spirit, a shapeshifter known for its beauty and cunning. Originating from ancient tales, this creature is said to transform into a stunning woman to lure unsuspecting men. However, beneath its alluring exterior lies a dark hunger. The Gumiho craves human hearts to sustain its existence. Variations of the legend exist, with some depicting the Gumiho as a tragic figure, cursed to roam the earth for eternity. Real events, such as unexplained disappearances near remote villages, have fueled the myth. The Gumiho's story serves as a haunting reminder of desire and deception. Subscribe for more chilling legends from around the world.
The legend of Kuchisake Onna, or the slit-mouthed woman, is one of Japan's most enduring and spine-chilling urban legends. Often recounted as a ghostly figure who wanders the streets on dark, misty nights, Kuchisake Onna is said to appear as a beautiful woman wearing a surgical mask. But behind this mask lies a horrifying secret. The origin of Kuchisake Onna dates back to Japan's Edo period, though the tale has evolved over centuries. According to early folklore, she was once a strikingly beautiful woman, the wife of a samurai, known for her vanity. Different versions of the story exist, but one popular telling describes how her husband, suspecting her of infidelity, became enraged and slit her mouth from ear to ear, shouting, "Who will think you're beautiful now?" The woman died from her injuries, but the wrath and pain of her death transformed her into a vengeful spirit. Another version traces her origin to a botched surgery, or even to a woman disfigured by an accident, with her ghost arising to haunt the living. While the details differ, each story shares a central theme. Kuchisake Onna became a terrifying apparition, eternally seeking validation of her beauty. In her ghostly form, Kuchisake Onna is described as a tall woman with long dark hair and, most distinctively, a red or white surgical mask covering her lower face. She appears mostly at night, especially in quiet neighborhoods, stalking lonely pedestrians. According to legend, she will approach her victim with a simple, unnerving question: "Am I pretty?" If the victim answers yes, she will remove her mask to reveal her grotesque slit mouth and ask, "How about now?" A no at this point is met with violence, often resulting in the victim being slashed to mirror her own disfigurement. If the victim responds yes again, she may still attack, slicing their mouth from ear to ear. The chilling twist to this legend is that there seems to be no escape. Whether the answer is yes or no, the result often ends in the victim's injury or death. However, some versions of the story suggest that clever responses can confuse her, allowing a narrow chance of survival. For instance, answering her questions with "you look average" or throwing small objects, like coins or candies, can sometimes distract her, giving the person a chance to escape. Urban legends and sightings. The legend of Kuchisake Onna re-emerged with a wave of urban legends in the 1970s, when reports of sightings began to spread, particularly around Japanese schoolyards and urban alleys. During this time, children would claim to have seen a woman matching her description lingering around playgrounds or street corners. Panic spread, leading many schools to require students to walk home in groups, and even police increased patrols in certain neighborhoods. In one popular account, a teacher reported encountering a woman with a surgical mask on her way home late at night. The woman asked if she was pretty, but before the teacher could answer, the stranger removed her mask to reveal the disfigured smile. The teacher managed to escape, but the encounter spread terror throughout the community. Stories like these have continued to circulate, adapting to modern settings. Some recent urban legends describe encounters with Kuchisake Onna in subway stations, parking lots, or dimly lit alleys. Even today, the fear of Kuchisake Onna lingers, with schools and communities remaining vigilant. The legend of Kuchisake Onna remains shrouded in mystery, with every telling adding a new layer of fear and fascination. Is she merely a ghost story passed down to frighten children, or could there be some truth behind the tales? Many who claim to have encountered her say they felt an unexplainable chill, a sensation that lingers long after the story ends. Whether you believe in her or not, one thing is certain. Kuchisake Onna has earned her place in Japan's eerie folklore. What do you think? Could Kuchisake Onna be real? Share your thoughts below. Subscribe for more tales from the shadows.
There's an old mirror in my grandparents' attic, its frame tarnished silver, its glass clouded with age. My grandma always told me, "Don't touch it. That mirror shows things you're not supposed to see." I thought it was just a story to keep me from breaking something valuable, until last summer. While exploring the attic, I found the mirror pushed into a corner, covered with a faded sheet. Curiosity got the better of me. I pulled the sheet away, revealing the strange, warped surface. My reflection looked back at me, but something was off. I leaned closer, and my reflection didn't move. It stood still, staring with wide, empty eyes, a twisted smile spreading across its face. I stumbled back, and the mirror shook violently, as if something inside was trying to break free. The reflection's hand pressed against the glass, and I swear I heard it whisper, "Let me out." Panicking, I threw the sheet back over the mirror and ran downstairs. But that night, I woke to the sound of glass tapping. The mirror was in my bedroom.
What if I told you about a creature that doesn't just stalk its prey, but becomes their shadow? In the remote villages of North India, there's a chilling legend of the Andhera Jagran, or the darkness stalker, a sinister being that thrives in the twilight hours. The Andhera Jagran is said to attach itself to a person by merging with their shadow, invisible to the naked eye. It waits patiently, feeding on their energy until the victim grows weak, pale, and collapses. The only way to survive is to recognize the creature before it fully takes hold. But here's the twist. Once someone realizes their shadow is not their own, they must trap it in total darkness before sunrise. If they fail, the creature consumes not just their life, but their identity, leaving behind an empty shell of a person, forgotten and unrecognizable. Strange, distorted shadows and mysterious deaths have haunted locals for generations, especially during new moons when the world is at its darkest. Is this a warning to respect the unseen forces of the night, or does the darkness stalker still roam, silently waiting for its next victim? What if I told you about the Tokoloshi, a notorious creature from South African folklore? This mischievous spirit is said to be a small, hairy humanoid, often described as having a huge head and glowing red eyes. Originating from Zulu mythology, the Tokoloshi is believed to crawl into the beds of unsuspecting victims, causing nightmares and sometimes even death. Its lore varies, with some tales saying it can be summoned by witches, or that it can be controlled with a wooden peg placed under the bed. In reality, the Tokoloshi reflects deep-seated fears in society, often intertwined with real events of unexplained misfortune. Could it be that the Tokoloshi truly lingers in the shadows? Subscribe for more haunting tales. What if I told you that ancient Egyptian tombs are cursed? The curse of the pharaohs originated when tomb raiders disturbed sacred sites. Legends claim that vengeful spirits protect their resting places, bringing misfortune to intruders. The most famous case is that of Tutankhamun's tomb. After its discovery in 1922, several people associated with the excavation died under mysterious circumstances. Tales of illness, accidents, and even sudden deaths fueled fears of a curse. Variations of the story suggest ancient texts warned of dire consequences for those who disrespected the dead. These chilling narratives serve as a haunting reminder. Some doors should remain closed. Subscribe for more spine-tingling tales. What if I told you that deep within Kenya lies a forest shrouded in mystery? The whispering forest of Kijabe is infamous for its ghostly voices that echo among the trees. Locals believe these whispers are the souls of those who perished tragically in the area. The origin of this haunting can be traced back to a devastating train accident in the early 1900s, where numerous lives were lost. As the story goes, on foggy nights, passers-by report hearing soft, mournful cries and pleading voices. Variations of the tale suggest that the whispers can lure unsuspecting travelers into the depths of the forest, leading them to disappear without a trace. Subscribe for more chilling stories that will keep you awake at night. In the heart of Asia lies the Whispering Woods, a forest steeped in chilling legends. Locals tell of ancient spirits that wander the trees, whispering secrets to lure unsuspecting travelers. Originating from stories passed down through generations, these woods have become a cautionary tale for those who dare to enter after dusk. Many speak of hearing their names called softly, drawing them deeper into the shadows. Variations of the tale suggest that those who heed the whispers may never return. Some believe real events inspired these tales, with missing persons linked to the cursed woods. As night falls, silence envelops the forest, leaving only the haunting whispers. Subscribe for more chilling tales.
The Haunting of Whispering Hollow. Deep within an untouched forest known as Whispering Hollow, 5 friends decided to escape their busy lives with a weekend camping trip. The area was shrouded in mystery, infamous for tales of strange disappearances and haunting whispers. Undeterred, the group set up camp, laughing off the local legends. As darkness fell, the atmosphere grew heavy. The surrounding woods seemed alive, rustling with unnatural movements. Around the fire, the group told stories, each scarier than the last, until one brought up the legend of the Hollow Witch. According to lore, she was a healer executed centuries ago after being accused of witchcraft. Her curse was said to trap all who wandered too close to her final resting place. The group joked nervously, dismissing the tale as fiction, but when an eerie, high-pitched laugh echoed from the trees, their bravado cracked. Convinced it was a prank, they challenged each other to explore the woods. Flashlights in hand, they ventured into the darkness. The forest quickly turned oppressive. Trails disappeared, replaced by twisting paths that seemed to move. A thick fog rolled in, muffling their voices and isolating them. Then came the whispers, soft, disjointed, and close, as if someone was speaking directly into their ears. One by one, they became separated. Flashlight beams flickered and died, leaving them in total darkness. Shadows moved just beyond sight, accompanied by the sickening sound of dragging feet. Then came the laughter again, this time guttural and malicious. When the survivors stumbled back to the campsite at dawn, they found the tent slashed open. Surrounding the site were intricate symbols carved deep into the ground, still fresh, as if etched moments before. Scattered among their belongings were fragments of bone and strands of hair. Shaken and scarred, they fled, vowing never to speak of the night. But the whispers followed them. Even in their own homes, the faint sound of her voice crept into their dreams. Some swore they saw her in mirrors or shadowed corners, her hollow eyes filled with rage. Years later, the legend of Whispering Hollow grew, fed by their silence and fear. They knew the truth. The Hollow Witch never forgives, and she never lets go. If you enjoyed this content and want to see more, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.
If you're a fan of the spooky and mysterious, you need to hear these 5 creepy superstitions from around the world. In Russia, whistling indoors is a no-no. They believe it invites evil spirits and financial ruin. Moving to Japan, don't stick your chopsticks upright in rice. It's a bad omen, resembling incense at funerals. Ever heard of the evil eye? In Middle Eastern cultures, this glare can curse you with bad luck. Protect yourself with a blue talisman called a nazar. In Spain, Tuesday the 13th is their unlucky day. They say on a Tuesday, don't get married or embark on a journey. And finally, in Mexico, sweeping someone's feet means they'll never get married. So, be careful with that broom. Superstitions might seem silly, but they're a fascinating peek into cultural fears and beliefs. What superstitions do you follow? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this eerie journey, hit the like button and subscribe for more.
Ready to lose some sleep? These creepypasta tales will haunt you long after the screen goes dark. First up, the Russian sleep experiment. Scientists kept prisoners awake for 15 days, and what they turned into